What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Anime Casuals. I am Lucky, and today we're talking about the battles that are sometimes the hardest to watch. Sometimes these battles are necessary, but a lot of times you just hate to see them because they're between friends. Sometimes circumstances are cruel and require somebody to win. And in this case, I'm talking about all types of things, not just fighting, but also competitions or anything with something to lose, since not every anime is about beating the crap out of each other. Before we get into this installment of Lucky's Top 5, I'd like to make a big announcement that me and my friend Paul are starting a new podcast called Casual Bros, part of the Casual Empire, which you guys can check out the link tree down in the description box down below to see all casual broadcasts. To avoid spoilers, don't forget to check out the description box down below. And remember that these are in no particular order. Without further ado, guys, let's get straight into my top 5 battles amongst friends. Number 1, Aruma vs. Asmodeus. Welcome to Demon School Iruma Kun. So, Aruma was originally a human who was adopted by a demon who is also the chairman at a demon school. Aruma goes to said school but doesn't want to attract any attention to himself since demons pretty much eat humans. I mean, it's basically in their school anthem. In the first episode, he doesn't succeed in his task to not gain any attention and is challenged to a duel by Asmodeus, a prodigy, but Asmodeus loses due to Aruma's incredible crisis evasion ability, which means he basically cannot be hit since he's so used to being around dangerous situations. Asmodeus then becomes Aruma's servant/friend, and looks up to Aruma, despite him being a top-level demon from a prestigious family. When it's announced that Execution Canonball, in the human world we call this dodgeball, is going to be the next exam, Asmodeus helps Aruma train, but when it's time to assign teams, they're put on opposing sides. Asmodeus spends most of the game trying to figure out how he can help Aruma win, but as he's brainstorming, he doesn't realize that everyone's been eliminated except for him and Aruma. As Asmodeus decides to just give Aruma the ball, he sees the determination in Aruma's eyes, and decides that holding back would be an insult, and he definitely gives Aruma all he's got. Aruma uses the momentum and throws it right back at Asmodeus, winning him and his team the match. Asmodeus is pleased to realize that he is definitely no match for his master, and their friendship goes on. You gotta love a good dodgeball match. I wonder if he could have dodged a wrench. Number 2 is Luffy versus Usopp. One Piece. Luffy and Usopp have always been two peas in a pod and have always had the most immature sense of humor out of all the Straw Hats, but when things got serious between them, it was a real surprise. The Going Merry, the Straw Hat ship up to this point, was determined to be unfixable from all the damage that had accumulated over the journey so far. So Luffy made the decision to say goodbye to the Merry and to get a new ship. But Usopp has a deep connection to the Merry and, well, he's pretty pissed off that Luffy would even consider doing such a thing. Long story short, Usopp challenges Luffy to a duel. Winner gets the Going Merry. The lead up to this fight had some flashbacks that really brought me back, but the real reason it's on this list is the fight itself. Usopp is known to be one of the weakest in the crew, but when it comes to the Going Merry, he's all business. This was one of my favorite fights that Usopp was involved in for many reasons. It showed how diverse Usopp could be if he took things seriously, it showed how resourceful he is, it showed that he wasn't like most of the Straw Hat crew in that he doesn't play by any moral code, he just wants to win. Luffy continues to be pummeled, but ultimately, Luffy is victorious. Watching the Merry shed tears was probably the hardest part of this whole ordeal. Sometimes when men disagree, they have to settle things, but a giant explosion and a punch to the gut, maybe learn to talk it out next time, guys. Number 3, Yugi vs. Joey. Yu-Gi-Oh! I remember the good old days of Yu-Gi-Oh! When the cards didn't have a short novel written on them, powerful monsters could be summoned whenever you wanted, and I actually gave a damn about the characters. Enter Joey and Yugi, who had a rocky relationship at first, but as they became better friends, Yugi taught Joey how to play duel monsters. Well, when Maximilian Pegasus traps Yugi's grandfather in the Shadow Realm, Yugi decides to enter a tournament held by Pegasus, and Joey participates as well to get the prize money for his sister Serenity's surgery. Well, eventually Yugi and Joey meet in the semi-final. Joey and Yugi agree not to hold back and the duel commences. Joey really shows Yugi that he's not the same duelist that Yugi was teaching and that he has a chance against anyone. Of course, there are the peanut gallery up on top, but nobody cares about them except Bakura, so we'll focus on the match. We see Joey bringing out all the stops to take on Yugi, and a lot of it actually works. Now, I think we all know where this is going. Of course, Joey is going to get Yugi down to the wire, and of course, Yugi is going to make up, utilize the situation using his expertise in dueling and come out on top. But I have to say, Joey brought the fight to Yugi, and you gotta love it when friends respect each other's strength. Also, Yugi ends up giving Joey the prize money anyway, so you might say this really didn't matter, but hey, we got to see an awesome duel. Number 4 is Goku vs. Majin Vegeta, Dragon Ball Z. Goku and Vegeta started off as enemies, but throughout the arcs they have become closer. Vegeta eventually settled down with Bulma and had a son, but the feeling of being inferior to Goku was always at the back of Vegeta's mind. Sure, they've both saved each other in tight pinches, but Vegeta felt like he was losing his edge. Well, before Majin Buu is resurrected, the Supreme Kai brings Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan to try and stop it, but Deborah, one of Babidi's minions at the time, realizes the rage inside Vegeta and decides to have Babidi mind control him and use that rage to their advantage. Vegeta gains immense power, and when they are teleported to the martial arts tournament that was going on, Vegeta ends up blowing up a good amount of the stadium as well as the town behind it. As with any Dragon Ball Z fight, this one was a big back and forth until Majin Buu was resurrected and Vegeta decided to sucker punch Goku. But ultimately, we hadn't really had a big fight between Goku and Vegeta since back in the Saiyan saga, so this was a long time coming. Number 5 is Naruto vs. Sasuke, Naruto. So, I won't spoil this, but there is a bigger Naruto vs. Sasuke fight that happens later in Naruto Shippuden. However, the original fight that they had in the original series was just so unpredictable, and I really didn't know what was going to happen. You see, Naruto and Sasuke have always had a rivalry, but they both saw each other as a sort of a brother that they never had. Naruto, however, used that closeness to try and get stronger so that Sasuke would acknowledge him. Sasuke realized Naruto was getting stronger at an exponential rate, and was afraid of his own strength not getting anywhere. He then succumbed to Orochimaru's promise to grant him power and decided to leave the Leaf Village in order to get stronger than his brother Itachi. However, when the Leaf hears about this, they send a retrieval squad, which Naruto is a part of. When Naruto catches up to Sasuke, he realizes what has become of him and how far he's willing to go. I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was a time when YouTube was really big on anime music videos or AMVs, and this fight was in like every single Naruto AMV, and for good reason. Naruto and Sasuke have a brutal back and forth to the point where they decide to settle things with a signature energy clash. I was actually really surprised when it turned out that Sasuke won this duel. However, this was the beginning of a long journey for both characters and was really the turning point of the series. Bonds were broken, bones were broken, but most of all, my heart was broken. I hope you guys enjoyed this list, and as always, you guys are more than welcome to give us any suggestions for future videos. As always, guys, don't forget to keep it casual.